It's really important that religion stays separate from the state. You are a Christian, beautiful, but that has nothing to do with the state. The state should be independent and people have the right to worship whosoever they want to worship. Keep religion aside from the state. If you want to do your thing, do it personal. And don't compel people or push people to do what they don't want to do. Because the state doesn't belong to you as a Christian. We have traditional worshippers, animists amongst us. Let them live by their own will and freedom. You are not in any way in a position to impose on our people. I greet every one of you. You know, there's an issue that is bothering us right now in the state, and I think that has to be addressed. You know, but before that, I want you to watch a video by a brother. But before you watch the video, I want us to talk a little bit about this issue. You see, I love what Udom as the governor is doing in Akwa Ibom State. So far, he has done well in terms of infrastructures, good roads and all that. We give him kudos for that. And for trying to maintain, you know, the cleanliness of the state. So that today Akwa Ibom State is one of the cleanest states in Nigeria, which is a beautiful thing. And we love the strides, economic stride that is, you know, pulling here and there, you know, trying to make things happen. Of course, there's still a lot of challenges facing him, and I think that needs to be addressed. Well, the issue I have with the Dome and his government actually has to do with religion. It has to do with the God matter thing, Jesus Christ thing. You know, I live in a country, I live in Finland to be precise, and Finland is known to be the happiest country in the world. Successively, you know, over the years. You know, it's a country where they have a meeting without a prayer, and they close the meeting without a prayer, but it's a Christian nation, you know, they're mostly Lutheran here and all that, you know. But they begin a meeting without a prayer, and then they end it without a prayer. What is this issue about God and everything in politics and the well-being, the overall well-being of the Akwa Ibom people? Why has everything had to do with God and everything? God here, God there, so that people don't have any more life to live. Udom came as a so-called man of God. And now he's trying to gear everybody to his own tune, to do things according to his own wishes and will. I don't think it's right. Today is 1st of October, like the brother said. He's trying to gear everyone to go fasting. What has that got to do with us? If he wants to do politics, let him play politics. And let him keep this God thing and Jesus Christ thing away from it. It makes no sense. Politics is politics. Over here, they play politics, but they don't bring in God to try to scam people, because this God thing is all about scamming. God has nothing to do with politics. God is not involved in politics. You know, this context image of God has actually nothing to do with our everyday life. Whenever you want to do something, just present it the way it is. And stop bringing in God here and there. We just had our end of year anniversary, the Christmas anniversary. You know, the only thing he was able to present was this carol night and all that. Who told you everyone is religious? We are spiritual people, but it doesn't mean that we are religious. So we have to dance according to your tune, or the tune of your church, or however. You know, he had to spend a whole lot of the state's, you know, resources all to bring in this so-called gospel singers all over the world, you know, to come perform. How many people were in attendance? They were mostly those church members, and that's it. But how about the cultural aspect? Nothing was done. I remember in the time of Akwa, you know, the stadium was open, and most of our local artists, you know, and well-known artists, you know, they were invited from everywhere and there, you know, and the state resources were shared, you know, accordingly to them, you know, and they entertained the people. You know, there was cultural display, they were, you know, those big names in Akwa, you know, they came out and they were performing. It was a beautiful thing. Culture is there to unite us. Culture is there to bring us together as a people. It's our heritage, and we can't deal without it. And today we're having all this kind of crisis in Akwa State, you know, different local government like Eket and all, you know, agitating for a state of their own. The only way we can bridge that gap is through culture. Because culture is the way of telling the people about their history, of who they actually are, where they come from, and how they're interrelated. You know, trying to tell them that we are one people no matter what. We need to stick together in this entirety called, superficial entirety called Nigeria, where every tribe is struggling for their own cake, for their own resources. The Hausa and Fulanis are struggling for theirs, the Igbos are struggling, the Yorubas, and we are trying to divide, and they are trying to bring in God. Is it only Akwa that has God? This context of God should be dropped. Let's move forward. Let's think about the people first. Let's bring in intellectuals from all over. It's all about practicality, logic. It has nothing to do with God. God is not involved in politics. Let me stress it out. No matter how much you pray in the beginning of your meeting and end it all, it doesn't help in any way. You use your head, common sense, to do things right. I came to this country, I schooled for free. I got a house for free. I was being fed by the government for a very long period of time. Everyone is being catered for. It's common sense. But they don't bring in God when they are doing all this. It's common sense, common practicality. Things that need to be done, needs to be done. And let's drop this context of God issue and everything. And now we are trying to bring in another guy, handpicked by the governor, Udom, you know, the yellow man. How do they call it? Is it golden child they call? He's another so-called man of God, you know, to come and lead the people. We don't want those kind of people in politics. We don't want them. If you're a pastor, then stay in your church. You're a man of God, then stay in your own church and run with your people, and forget bringing God and church into the everyday life of our people. Each and every one has the freedom to choose whatsoever they want, to decide however they want to worship. You know, we cannot in any way, you know, keep aside or try to ignore the traditionalists or the traditional worshippers. You know, whatever they want to worship, they have the right, because they are full indigenous of Akwa State. So this God issue has to be dropped. Let's rather promote culture. Let's promote anything that has to do with tourism, about our people, anything that, you know, sells us to the world, anything that unites us, anything that brings us together. And God is not going to do that. We are the ones to do it. This beautiful country called Finland today, being what it is today, was built from the very sweat of the people. They had to sit and say, hey, we can't continue in this way. We have to change our narrative. We have to change things so that it benefits our children